Welcome to my office in the great outdoors. This week we've got a lot of work to do on Dreamboat, but Shauna and I are both feeling kind of sick, and so we're going to try to pick some stuff to take it easy. We've got a lot of painting, some rivets so that we can do some painting on the inside. We want to tackle painting the rear frame area and the surround that holds the tanks up underneath the belly. We've also got some staining to do on some of the woodwork inside. I'm also looking forward to getting started on my taxes. That'll be, I guess, inside work. So we finished the wheel well panels that cover the sides of the wheel well platform, and I'm pretty happy with how it came out, although I am waiting for more bolts to finish the look of it so that it's installed and it has the same appearance as the bottom of the Murphy bed. As far as our actual job at the gate here goes, something has changed where they've mandated that we now need to actually physically open and close the gate if we're not kind of right out next to it. That's kind of affecting a little bit the workflow. With a cold snap coming, I'm going to have to check up on some of the winterization of the trailer. I know I've got the heat tape that's been on the plumbing, and that keeps the dump valve from freezing up, and it's, I think, at least 2 years old now. Maybe it's 2 years old, and so I'm gonna have to check up on that and make sure it's still working, because I'll need to buy another strip of that if it's not before the freezing temps, because once that plumbing freezes. All right, Shauna has the first coat on this, and it looks pretty good, but it's lifted the grain a little bit, so we're probably gonna have to sand it before the second coat goes on.
I might need my good brush for this level of cutting, as opposed to just this
I can get you a good brush.
foam brush.
So I realized we had these sensor under counter lights, and I've got one mounted up here to just test it, and I think it'll work nicely. They'll click on when the door opens. We're looking at the open face of the dresser area with the doors back off. These sensor lights have a clip system that they come with that's totally incompatible with the 8020. So like several of the other things we've had to install in here, I've had to figure out a different way, and I think I'm pretty happy with what I've got worked out on this one over here that I've already installed. One screw at the end on each side. This aluminum strip is about 2.5 inches long, and it slides into the body of the light. And then there's a screw hole through it that goes up into the 8020. Here's the first coat of paint on things. Looking nice and bright in here. This will be the under counter box. That'll get installed after it's painted. It'll be easier to do that way. In preparation for coming cold weather, I wanted to turn on the heat tape and test it using our Victron Multi Plus to see how much power it was actually drawing. And the problem is that apparently it's not cold enough yet. So I'm gonna have to wait for colder weather. I did a little bit of reading up when I didn't see any power usage. It's actually thermostat controlled, and it will click on at 38 degrees Fahrenheit, and then it will click back off at 43 degrees Fahrenheit. So as yet I can't test it, and I have to rely on the orange glow of the plug when I plug it in. Got a little storage cupboard here next to the wheel well, which I think I'm pretty happy with. And I think I'd like to figure out a way to use this bit of butcher block we have for the top. After moving the kitchen counter down this way towards the bathroom wall to make space for the Murphy bed, we now have a little bit of an issue with the door frame, where we're going to have to kind of figure out exactly how to get the plane of the door correct. Mostly I like this 80/20 design for a door frame, and I think it could work, but I am going to have to spend a little bit more time to figure out exactly where it's going to wind up. Our indicator's still green, so we haven't switched over to the second tank, meaning we've got more than enough propane for a few cold days. Our goal with this box to cover the tanks and to hold the tanks up is not to make it perfect, but to just do a layer of rust prevention. Basically the same goes for the frame. We're not trying to make it perfect so much as just cover up the steel with a fresh layer of primer and then paint. It's pretty hard to paint perfectly under here because at times the brush is only 8 inches or a foot from your face and it splatters just a little bit.